Welcome to study session 13, immediate predecessors of modern international state system. 3. Wars of religion in Europe, 30 years war. In this study session, you will learn about the 30 years war, known as the wars of religion. Nothing has so shaken Europe to foundation like the Reformation. Lutheranism was sweeping Europe. Ex-students of the University of Wittenberg took the Reformation to their countries. Calvinism continued to spread even to a place where reconciliation was impossible. Calvinism was most uncompromising, most dangerous heresy and difficult to combat. It was a democracy, while Catholicism, like Lutheranism, was autocratic. Due to the nature of Calvinism, what was inevitable? Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Explain the meaning of war. 2. Outline the causes of the wars of religion. 3. Highlight the phases of the war. 4. Discuss the effect of the war. Overview of the 30 years war. It was a series of wars that involved significant European countries. Initially, it was fought largely as a religious conflict between Protestants and Catholics in the Holy Roman Empire. Later, disputes over the international politics and balance of power within the empire played a significant part. Generally, the war became more a continuation of the Bourbon-Habsburg rivalry for European political preeminence. Occasions for the 30 Years' War. The issue of the empire, the Habsburg Holy Roman Emperor sought to decrease the autonomy of the princes and increase the centralization of government in Germany. With their holdings in Austria, Germany, Italy, Spain, and Low Countries, the Habsburg also represented a dynamic coalition capable of playing a predominant role in European politics. Religious issues which had divided Germany. The dominational controversy brought about by the Protestant Reformation was at the root of the religious dimension of the conflict. The settlement of 1555 had set forth the principle that the religion of the prince determined the religion of his territories, thus establishing the division of the empire into Lutheran and Catholic camps. It was the appearance of Calvinism in Germany and the simultaneous development of country reformation which made that settlement untenable in the 7th century. Unlike Lutheranism, Calvinism was a highly expansive religion first. Religious and political relations within the empire was at a point of high tension. Revocation of the Edicts of Nantes. The tension broke into open conflict in Bohemia when its Habsburg king Ferdinand, who was about to become Holy Roman Emperor, allowed his Catholic advisors to enact a revocation of the privileges of the Protestants. Bohemia had a very large Protestant population, and the existing religious antagonism between the population and the king was heightened by resentment of such a extension of royal authority. The angry Bohemians declared the king deposed and threw 3 of his advisors out of a window high in the royal castle in Prague. The news of his disposition got to him just after his election as Holy Roman Emperor. The rebellion became a civil war in Germany when the Elector Frederick of the Palestine accepted the crown of Bohemia from the Diet of the rebellious nation. Phases of the 30 Years' War. The first phase, 1618 to 1625. This was between the emperor and his allies against a number of Protestant princes. In the east, an imperial victory at the Battle of Winter Hill in 1620 settled the fate of Bohemia. In the west, the Palatinate forces were ravaged by internal dissension as well as the imperial armies. The war was protracted only by foreign invasion on behalf of the Protestants. The second phase, 1625 to 1629. Here, the Protestant king of Denmark, Christian IV, intervened on the side of German Protestants with a view of gaining territorial concessions in the northwest part of Germany. With the intervention of Denmark, the religious division of the first seas was subordinated to territorial and political considerations. In 1629, the Imperial Party again stood victorious over the opposition. The third phase, 1630 to 1635. It was external rather than internal continuous, which brought a renewal of the war. Both Sweden and France had been watching the course of events in Germany for some time. But Sweden, under the brilliant leadership of Gustavus Adolphus, was engaged in a war with Poland, which took precedence over intervention in Germany. France, under Richelieu, used money where it was not yet ready to use troops. With a French subsidy, the Swedes were able to wind up affairs in Poland and raise an army for a Germany war, leading to the third phase of the war, and it ended in another defeat for the anti-imperial forces. The Swedish army was routed by their more numerous imperial adversaries in 1634, and the Treaty of Prague of 1635 ended the third phase of the conflict. Levels of involvement of European powers. Ottoman support. In the east, the Protestant Hungarian Prince of Transylvania, Bertengabor, led a spirited campaign into Hungary with the support of Ottoman Sultan Osman II. Fearful Ferdinand requested a protectorate by Osman so that Ottoman Empire became the one and only ally of great power states, which the rebellious Bohemian state could muster after shaking off Habsburg. They exchanged ambassadors in 1620, and Ottoman provided 60,000 cavalry to Frederick's plans to invade Poland. This triggered off Polish-Ottoman War. 1621 to 1625 Spanish support. The Spanish sent an army from Brussels to support the emperor. Danish intervention. The Danes helped Lutheran rulers of the neighboring Lower Saxony by leading an army against the imperial force. Denmark had feared that its Protestant sovereignty was threatened by the recent Catholic succession. Swedish intervention. Sweden almost dreamt of controlling the Baltic Sea and areas along it and turn it into a Swedish lake. Lutheran Swedes, financially and politically engaged by Catholic France, joined the war. The army was personally led by King Gustavus Adolphus. French intervention 1635 to 1648. France, a Catholic and led by a cardinal of the Catholic Church, joined the war on behalf of the Protestants against Habsburg. Helped Protestant Holland, who joined the war against Catholic Spain to obtain its independence. Effects of the war. It destroyed a good portion of Central Europe and led to population decline. The rise of France. Study session summary. In this study session, you learned that The wars of religion was a series of wars rather than one single continuous conflict that involved significant European countries. Religious and political relations within the empire were at a point of high tension. There were three major phases in the war: Spain, Sweden, Denmark, France, and the Ottoman Turks all intervened in the war. This is the end of study session 13. Thank you for listening.